All right, I'm going to start right on time here, or 30 seconds off of time, but it's 11 o'clock. And again, we're going to cover the paying out team members. So I'm going to jump into my file here real quick. I am logged in on multiple screens because I just want to be able to show you how it affects reports through my business. And I just want to touch on a couple things here real quick. In your business plan, it's very crucial the labels that you give your team members, because that is going to drive where it pushes different reports. So if you have an admin, so if you have a buyer agent, listing agent, or both listing and buyer agent, it's really not going to matter. But if you have a showing assistant, ISA, or admin, that will affect where it places it onto the financial statement for you. So it will separate everything else so you can see exactly how much money you're paying out to those team members. So I'll just give you an example. If I jump to my financial statement, I can see my income up on top, and then it's also going to chart and place all of my cost of sales. So what am I paying out? So if I paid out an admin on a transaction, if I'm giving them a little kickback for helping out on the transaction, it will place that into the admin section of my financial statement, so I can see exactly how much am I investing into my admin for the transactions that are running through our office or through my business. It'll do all the listing agents, buyer agents, referral income. Everything is going to place onto here automatically based off of those roles. So real quick, I just want to jump in here and just do a very basic transaction. I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom where you guys can't see anything, and I just want to walk through doing a transaction and watch what happens to the reports when I do this. So let's say let's say Johnny, buyer agent on my team, lists a home. How does he get credit for that listing? So if I do a listing and it lists today, we'll do active, we'll do 555 Puckett Avenue. Client's name is Tom. And if you've been on my webinar, you're going to find out I use a lot of the same names. We'll do for sale by owners as the source. The listing date, we will do 8-2. So I'll do that, and we'll do an expiration date of, let's just do 12/11. And it's $265,000. So if I type it in just like that and leave it, it will not, it's just going to give me credit as the lead agent for that transaction. I'm going to close down one of my browsers here. It's slowing me down. So now if I just leave it like that, that gives me the lead agent credit for that transaction. But let's say it was Tommy Agent. So if I click on Tommy Agent and I give him 50% of that transaction, because that's our split agreement, so it gives him the 50%, I'm just going to go to his report card. So that was a listing taken in August for $265,000. So now if I go to, and I should show you what I'm going to, team member scoreboard or scorecards. If I click on that and I look at Tommy Agent, it is now given Tommy credit for taking a listing in August for $265,000. So what I'm guess I'm going for here is the person that is designated into the team member 1 slot is going to be the one that gets credit for the unit on the transaction. So who actually took that listing, because most likely Tommy's doing everything on that transaction. He's getting paid 50% because that's our team structure deal, but he did the work on it. So that's going to give him credit, and then it's going to give him the proper amount of GCI once it closes. So let's say I go in and close that transaction out. So if I click close, and we'll do a closing date of, let's just do August 3rd, and we'll do it for $265,000. So when I do that, there's a total amount of commission on this transaction of $7,900. My company dollar that I, as the lead agent, am paying out is in here, and then Tommy Agent's income. So now if I go down here, it's going to give Tommy, in the sold listing 1, his GCI of $39.75, and the volume of that transaction is going to give him the total volume of that. But it only gives him the GCI that he earned on that transaction. And it also places that into his income chart up there as well, so you can see exactly how much money Tommy is making on that transaction. So again, I'm just jumping between 2 windows here just to be able to show you guys how that works. So now I'm going to scroll up, and where there's more transactions on the page. But we'll go through a couple of these transactions up on top here. So if I've got a transaction here that is getting split multiple ways, so sometimes you have an ISA or an admin, this system will allow you to split a transaction up to 4 different ways. So let's say that Tommy Agent is the team member 1. He's getting 50%. Actually, you know what? we have an ISA that's going to be getting 10% on this deal because she set up the appointment. So, and Tommy's going to pay that. So what you do for that, you just simply say, well, Tommy's getting 40% versus his normal 50. And then I'll also put in our ISA, Sally, getting 10%. So the idea here of the team member payouts is you as the lead agent really should never go in there. This is strictly the total commission and did you pay out any team members on the transaction. It will take, if I'm the lead agent, Calvin Mergen, if I put myself there and I'm the only one on the transaction, I must designate that I'm getting 100% of that commission. So you must type that in so it knows that you're getting all of the commission. But the idea here is to save you guys keystrokes and data entry. If it's you, it's going to give you full credit for that transaction because you did not pay anybody out on that transaction. So real quick, I don't see any questions coming in yet. Any questions on paying out those team members, what I just went over? See if anything comes in here. Yes, all right, I'm going to hang on for your question to be typed in. All right, just waiting. If left blank, does it not show on the whiteboard? Okay, so that's a great question. So let's say I take a list. So I've got a listing down here, and we have it left blank. So on the whiteboard, you can see the agent. It's going to grab whoever's in team member 1. So I see what you're saying. There's like, well, I want to have my name show up on that whiteboard so I know it's mine. It does leave it blank. And I am actually going to fix that in version 2.0 where if you leave it blank, it's going to recognize that and just place the lead agent's name in there. So that way you don't have to put your name in there. So I totally get that because you want to put that agent's name in there or your lead agent's name on there. Otherwise, it just leaves it blank. All right, let's see if anything else comes in. Let's see. What if the lead agent wants to be added as a team member with percent for the listing and percent for the buyer? So let me just digest this question here. What if the lead agent wants to be added as a team member with a percent? So what happens here, so if you want to add yourself in, so let's say you're doing a 50-50 split on a transaction with somebody. If you put your name in the team member 1 column and you do 50% to you and you say, hey, we're going to pay Bob Seller's going to get 50% as well, what it's going to do is it's going to give you the lead agent credit for that because you were put into the team member 1 slot. Now, if you want to give Bob credit, put Bob here and then put yourself here if you want to see it that way. There's no need to do that extra step because it knows that that remaining percent goes into your income because it knows, okay, you paid out Bob $46.20 of $92.40. It knows that the remainder is yours. Let's go. He only wants 25% and the remainder goes to the business. That's, yep. So let's say you pay out Bob 25%. It knows that the remainder goes to the business on that. So there's no need to do that extra payout of yourself as a team owner. You could do it if you want to, just to see it on there, but the system will recognize it and funnel it to all the reports to the proper channels without doing those extra steps. Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, Allison. Real quick here, I want to just kind of go over some of these things in my business to help visually see your transactions. So some of the most important transactions are obviously what do you have pending. So sometimes when I open up people's files, I'll see their files will look like, and I'll just give it an example here. I want to reset a couple things. I want to show you how to filter and clean up your transactions, especially when you're doing 100 or 200 transactions a year. That can be a lot of data to look at. So sometimes I'll open up somebody's file and it'll look like this, and in my mind that just looks like chaos to me. It's like so many things going on there. The idea of this, there's some sort and filter options right up on the top menu, so you can sort and filter. So you can just sort ascending by status, and what that will do is it's going to move all of your pendings to the top, and then all of your actives, and you can actually There's been a lot of questions about what's that little tilde, that little extra symbol in front of the pending. The reason that's there is to give that the sort capability to go to the top when you do that sort. So what I recommend people do, and still this looks like chaos to me because we've got active listings and active buyers all commingled. So let's just sort it by type, and then sort it by status. Then it'll be all clean and in a very easy to view manner. So you're going to be able to see all of your buyer pendings up on top, your listing pendings right there, all of your active buyers, your active listings, and then all of your closed transactions go down to the bottom. One thing I also recommend too, and sometimes you don't need to see your closed transactions, is to use that filter option here. So you can see there's a little drop down again here. Instead of doing the ascending or descending, just click on filter and uncheck closed. And when you do that, now you're looking at a lot less. So it's just going to have all of your active and pending business on that page, which just helps it visually. I then sort, yes, Allison, that's another great point too, is so the idea of the whiteboard is to be able to, be able to see all of your upcoming closings and all of that stuff on here, so it all puts it in order for you automatically. But you know what? Sometimes in my business, you just want to see, you want to sort and filter it the way you want. So I've got all my pendings on top, and all my projected to close are kind of in a different order. So I want to put them in the order of projected to close. So if I just sort ascending by projected to close column, now it's going to put them in the order of pending, which ones are upcoming closings. Or descending would probably be another one as well. So you can do it either way, sort ascending or descending, and then it just puts them in that proper order so you can see, okay, this is the next one closing on 7/19, which obviously this is my demo account that hasn't closed yet, but it puts everything in an easy visual manner, and you can sort, filter any of those items. And again, you guys can split those transactions up to 4 different ways. The team member 1 is going to be the person that gets credit for those transactions. Anybody paid out afterwards is going to get credit for what they did for their income-wise, but they're not going to get unit credit, so we don't double up on the unit count. I want to make sure that that stays in order with your business. So let's see if there's anything else. So all those things are going to funnel to all of those reports. Real quick on your sold home board, I think I touched on this last time, but if you weren't on it, and what this will do on your sold home board is it puts all of your sales on here, but you can color code it by agent. And the agent that gets credit is whoever is in that team member 1 slot. So you can see how it color codes and labels each one of those agents in there. Financial statement, so watch what will happen if I'm going to take Bob, the seller. In my business plan, he's a buyer's agent. He's done a lot of transactions this year. If I change him to an ISA, if I go to my financial statement, it's going to put all of his transactions now into the ISA section. So that's how that system works with those. It's going to automatically place it based off of their role. So there's nothing you need to do. It should automatically work for you in all roles and place everything for you, so you're not doing all that extra work in calculating. So real quick, see if there's any other questions out there in my business, sorting, filtering, anything else, even team member stuff here as well. The team member stuff can be pretty quick to go over, so I don't have a ton more, but I want to see if there's anything else that I may have missed that you guys want to have covered so you have a full understanding of how it works. You already covered married team leads. I did not cover married team leads. That's a good one. So hold on, Sally. How can I run reports on title companies? Okay. So Sally has a great question here, and this is something that is kind of gets tough to do. But if you have, her question is, we have a married team, so we have 2 lead agents. So I'm not married, but I'm going to just use myself as the example. So we'll do Sally. Your name popped in my head. So Sally Mergen. So we're a husband-wife. You can put in a duplicate lead agent, In that section, you can put in another lead agent, and then what the system is going to do is anytime you pay out Sally, who is my spouse in this scenario, it's not going to put it into cost of sales of the financial statement. It's going to put it into her reports, but it's going to stay in the financial statement. It's not going to go into cost of sales because technically we are considered one. Now, I do need to do a little bit more work on some of those reports and how they've come through, and Sally sent me a few emails on some requests, so I am working on that as well. How to run reports on title companies in the system. So I am going to be doing that as well. So on the far right, you have mortgage closing companies. So if you're typing in that data right now, it's just strictly here for your visual purpose. But when I do version 2.0, it's going to actually take that data and generate a report much like your ROI report. It's going to show you your title companies, who's getting your business, how much business are you providing to those vendors, give you that leverage when you're having conversations with them about how much business you have brought to them and what are you getting in return. So that is going to be a great report to pull up. And I will be honest with you guys, I'm basically I'm actually not going to Mega Camp just because I am locking myself in my office to get 2.0 done. You will have 2.0 in your hands this month. That is a guarantee. I'm not going to miss getting that out this month. So that will be out this month. That will have those additional reports in there for you and a ton more, which I'm going to kind of hold off and unveil pieces throughout the month, which you'll see on the Facebook page. All right. Let's see if anything else comes in. This could be a little quicker webinar, and you guys can get on with your day. If there's anything else, I definitely don't want you guys to walk away with questions, and I don't even care if you go off topic. I'll answer it. Let's see if anything else trolls in here. Just gonna wait, and again, I will be posting this for you guys. Let's do... I'll give it another 30 seconds to see if anything else comes in. Otherwise, we can have a quick, here we go. We would like to display this info on a screen. Any suggestions? Okay, so if you would like to put your information onto a monitor, onto a TV screen, because it does run web-based, all the stats update live instantly for you. All you need to do, the easiest way, is to go to a Best Buy or any place in, I think they're like $30, is a Chromecast, and it just plugs into the TV, and then you can actually beam your screen to your TV monitor. So that is the easiest way to do it. I actually do have a video on how to do that. If you want to shoot me an email, I'll send you a video. Just calvinmorgan@gmail.com. I'll send you that video, but that's the best way to do it. As an individual agent, do I need to do put two number? Oh, perfect. Great question here. So the next question is, I'm an individual agent. What do I need to do anything with team member info? Absolutely not. You don't have to even touch that. The only thing you'd be touching here would be your company dollar, royalties, and referral fees. And anything else that you pay out, that does not matter. I do actually want, that brings me to a good point. Some people are hiring transaction coordinators, and they're paying out a transaction coordinator that's technically really not on their team, but they're getting paid whatever, $100 per deal. Put them onto your team as a transaction coordinator. So Sam, transaction coordinator, put him down as admin and pay him out on each transaction, so that way you can see exactly how much you're paying out in that as well. So that was one thing I totally forgot to bring up. All right. I did get your email, Allison. I will send that to you. Let's see here. The other thing too, let's see. Do admins show up on stats? Admins do show up on stats. So they will show up, for one, they'll show up on the financial statement. For two, if I go into team member scorecards, they are in the drop down as well. So you can actually see their stats and their income. All of that will funnel to all of the reports as well. Let's see. Anything else comes in. All right, I'm just going to wait and see if anything else comes in, guys, and then we can kind of wrap up for today. I'll keep you posted on the next topic. If you have a topic that you would love to cover, definitely shoot me an email. I'm always open to suggestions on that, but otherwise I will find something that I get the most questions on and try to do those as first webinars. All right, guys, I think, oh, here we go. I might have missed this. Where does admin salary come from to show on financial statements? So if anybody is labeled admin, so Sally ISA is labeled an admin. So if you're labeled admin here and you get paid out on a transaction, then it will automatically take that information. So it's based off of your business plan, the titles. So if it's an ISA, it goes into the ISA line item. If it's showing assistant, it goes into the showing assistant line item. If it's admin, it will automatically place that that money that was paid out into the admin section of the financial statement. Anything we need to do to get ready to transition to a new version? Nothing you need to do at all. For transaction, not theirs. Okay, so another good question, Sally, is that so only if they're paid out per transaction? Absolutely. Only if they're going into cost of sales of the transaction. If they're paid salary, then they would actually go into your salary line item as an operating expense that you're paying them a salary. But if they're getting paid out on transactions, then we want to track that as a cost of sales. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. All right. Looking for next. Awesome. Thanks, Allison. All right, guys. Well, again, thank you for taking a little time out of your day. I do want to keep these, 20 to 30 minutes so you guys can get back to work. It looks like we're right in the middle of 20 to 30 minutes, so another good time frame. I'll post this. I'll send it all out, and I'll keep you guys posted on the next webinar. Have a fantastic Tuesday and a great rest of your week.